Hey there, folks. This is Graybeard Comics, coming to you from lovely Laredo, Texas. Sorry, I was going to put something out yesterday, but we were actually driving down from California. Yesterday it was a pretty good show. Let's see. Let's start from the start and end at the end. I'll try to do that. I'm trying to wrap my mind around all the stuff that happened there. That cameo was pretty cool. So let's get started. So it starts the show with John Walker running. He just killed one of the flag smashers, Nico. His best friend, brother in arms, had died. And boy, I think, to be honest with you, that's a pretty common thing. Is once you have something like that, something super traumatic, to run it off. If you've ever read something like the Red Badge of Courage, the fog of war falls on you and you just kind of take off. So I don't think that's out of character. I think that's a great thing. I don't think he was running away from Sam or Bucky. I don't think he was running away from anything but the experience itself. So, oh man, my thing just went crooked. Sorry, I'm driving down a dirt road here. So I don't think that was overly bad. I like that. Then when they meet up with him, as normal, Sam tried to negotiate with him, and Bucky didn't have any interest in negotiating. He let Sam take the lead on that. But then when John starts to go dark, Bucky was like, "Yeah, we do want to fight. We want to do this." That was one heck of a fight. The scene was more on pair with what would happen. So Bucky has super soldier serum, so does John. They're both at the peak of their game, and it was just a duke out. Had those two been fighting, just those two, I think it would have possibly ended in close to a draw. But by adding Sam in there, boy, then pulling his arm off like that, oh man, pulling the shield off his arm, nearly ripping his arm off. I don't think he broke his arm. I think they dislocated it at the elbow here, which I've dislocated both of my shoulders. I can tell you it's not fun, but it can be put back in. On this side though, I dislocated and broke it, fractured it down the middle, and that took longer to heal. But this one, when it broke, or when it dislocated, it just popped out, and the surgeon or the med team on site was able to pop it back in. And actually, I didn't have any. I mean, it hurt for a couple days, but it actually haven't had any too much long term. Where this one, with it breaking, I have had some pretty long term pain. And so I think that's what they did. I think now I know the idea is the super soldiers heal faster, but I kind of think that they dislocated his arm at his elbow there. Oh, let's see. Boy, didn't it feel a whole lot when he was there when John Walker was at his trial there. It felt a lot like Jack Nicholson's "You Can't Handle the Truth." You know, a lot of our soldiers are treated this way. It's a tough thing, where you want people who are rough and tumble until the rough and tumble stuff is over, and then you want folks who can follow orders until rough and tumble starts again. And I don't know, this is a tough thing. Now, would you throw out a man who's gotten 3 medals of honor when that's never happened in the history of the United States at something like this? I don't think so. I think you would maybe charge him with something, but you'd probably then keep him in your good graces. This was a bad idea on their part. But he didn't get upset. He got upset, but I mean, he didn't hurt anybody. And then we get into that cameo, and my goodness, it was one heck of a cameo. You know what? Before I get to that, so another thing that happened was when John Walker ripped off Sam's wings. There was a toy release that showed Sam having, of course, having the Captain America uniform and the shield, and then it had a toy with John Walker, and this was from China. I think the Disney store in China, if I recall right. The one with John Walker actually had Sam's wings in with the toy, so I kind of thought, well, that's odd, and I guess that was a spoiler that I didn't talk about, and nobody else I think did either. So there is a picture of from the Disney store in China that has John Walker with Falcon's wings. So I guess that happened. Also, we get Sam dropping off, talking to Torres again, Joaquin. I thought it was cool when he said, "Oh, look, you found your sleeves again," to Bucky there, who for some reason pulled off his sleeves, I guess, just to show that he had robotic arms, and jumped out of a perfectly good airplane without a parachute. I've never done it without a parachute. I've jumped out of helicopters without parachutes. I rappelled out of helicopters without parachute. But I thought that was interesting. Hey, you found your sleeves. That's great. Now, also in the comics, Joaquin Torres becomes the Falcon, kind of to replace Sam to some degree when Sam became Captain America. Actually, in those comics, Joaquin was a mutate, a person who was mixed with a bird, and so he was literally a falcon. That's not going to happen. So Sam drops off those old broken down wings. I believe we're going to find out that Joaquin Torres is fixing those. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see that in the last episode, but instead see that happen when they bring together the Young Avengers. So, all right, let's see what else. So Sam goes over. So first off, the name of the show is Truth. Now, I always think of the Captain America Red, White, and Black as exactly that, Captain America Red, White, and Black. But the big title on top of the comic book is Truth, comma or colon, Red, White, and Black. And so, although in my mind I think of the comic book as a Red, White, and Black, I guess in truth it's Captain America Truth, and it's the story of Isaiah Bradley. And so them naming this episode Truth, although there are a lot of truths that occur during the show, and people kind of having to come to those realizations, I think it's mostly named after the comic book, and it's the story of Isaiah Bradley. I liked it. I liked the way they did it, but I didn't like it. There were some things I wish, I'm just being nitpicky, I guess. The truth is, I really thought we would see a flashback scene. I thought they would spend the money and have Isaiah Bradley, Captain America, and instead of him telling his story, showing the story. Kind of. I feel like that was a missed opportunity. I don't know. Again, I kind of think of Mark Twain said, instead of saying the lady screamed, bring her out on stage and let her scream. I feel like they could have done this. This is a visual media. Instead of giving me some couple of guys talking, which is okay. Man, I sure would have liked to seen Isaiah Bradley jumping through there and saving those guys and doing Captain America stuff. In the comics, he actually the reason they put him in jail was because he stole Captain America. Well, they said he grabbed a hold of a used uniform, one that had like bullet holes and stuff, and I want to say like some kind of shield that was laying around, and so it scared the bad guys enough that they actually thought Captain America was there, and so the government kind of charged him with stealing. Also in the comic books, his wife is kind of the one that got him out. And remember, this is not in the MCU. I guess he's going to be from Korea. This is from years before in World War II. So they kind of sit down and talk about it. Now, Isaiah's he has a different take than Sam on just about everything, and it's tough. So, it's easy to be jaded. Honestly, it's easy. It's hard not to be sometimes. And he was thrown in jail for 30 years. How could he be happy with the country that he served that threw him in jail for 30 years for doing his duty? And now we get to John, and he pretty well feels the same way, right? So he's standing there in this, kangaroo court with this senator who's already made up his mind. He doesn't have an opportunity to defend himself at all. None of the stuff that happened on this show are legal. None of the stuff that happened on this show really happened. An Article 15 could occur, and that doesn't include a jury. And I think this is kind of what they're trying to point towards in Article 15, but I don't know. And so he's not just stripped of the name Captain America. What they did was they took away all of his medals of honor. They took away everything, and they busted him down to no rank. Just everything. His whole service is thrown out. That's not something that would happen, but okay. And so he leaves. He's talking to his wife a bit, and then boom, we have Elaine show up, or maybe Selena. I can't think of her last name. The vice president on TV, Selena, show up and sit down and randomly start talking to the guy. Now, so she's playing Madam Hydra. Madam Hydra goes way back. She was when I was a kid reading comic books, I really liked the Howling Commandos. I really liked Nick Fury, and it switched over. It was like, at first it was the Howling Commandos. About the same time, Cap hops into the future and starts with the Avengers and all that. Howling Commandos get canceled, and Nick Fury, it becomes like Nick Fury Shield, if I recall right, where it was more intrigue and more like spy work instead of army work. So, and this is where she pops in, right around the 70s. I'll have to look all this stuff up actually, I'm traveling, so to find my comic books won't be easy. But I'm gonna go ahead and figure out where this all showed up. But basically, right around in 1970s, she shows up and becomes Nick Fury's girlfriend. She's a spy from Russia, and slowly but surely you discover she's not just a spy, she's like a double spy, and really a triple spy. There was like all kinds of intrigue, but she's really working for Hydra, and she, come to find out, is one of the main Hydra people, Madam Hydra. She's a countess. She's almost identical to Zemo. Zemo's a count. She's high on the in the world. She's got a lot of money, and so I wouldn't be surprised if we have more information there. Now, so most people thought Hydra was gone. Hydra lost some time ago, and they had this bid to take over all of the helicarriers. They had this other bid, take over SHIELD, just all kinds of stuff. And so everybody's like, okay, well, they've rooted out and killed Hydra. But Hydra in the Greek mythology, it was one of the trials of Hercules, right? Is that Greeks or Roman? I think it's Greek. And so Hercules discovered when you cut off one head of the Hydra, two more grow in its place. And that's how Hydra takes their name. So basically the idea is if you kill the head of Hydra, whoever the head is at that time, two more will pop up who are also heads of Hydra. And so Hydra will just keep on going. And they're disconnected in that way so that they can do that. And so you might think, oh, well, Hydra's gone. Who cares about this lady? She knew more than our government knew. There was a trial, and while John's walking out, that senator, I don't know what his name is. That senator's yelling at him saying, hey, give us that shield back. You have this many hours or whatever. Well, she sits there and says, well, I know you took the super soldier serum. That was one of the smartest things you've done. The next one is going to be answer the phone when I call. And the other thing was, she said, I know you don't even have the shield. And the government doesn't know that. So that means Hydra has been following these folks this whole time. That they have more information than the government. I don't think that Hydra, or I definitely don't think Madam Hydra is the power broker. But you know, she's definitely well informed, much better informed than our government, and that's a pretty big deal since our government is, you know, the foremost spies. So then we go on and we have this is a negative thing. We have Sharon Carter calling Batroc the Leaper, George St. Paul, and saying, "Hey, I've got a job for you. I'm going to pay you double what I paid last time." And he's yelling at her French. I caught a couple of words. I know a little bit of French, mostly the bad words. But yeah, it was interesting. So she's definitely not on the side of angels, but I don't think she's the power broker. Matter of fact, in the previous last episode, where she's talking to Sam, she's walking through, and you can see like artwork and stuff like this, and she's walking through a bunch of armed soldiers. And she kind of looked like she got beat up, maybe by the power broker. I think she might still be like a double spy. I don't know. I'm not sure, but definitely in this case, it seems like she's a bad guy, and that's troubling, right? Because I like Sharon Carter, I like Agent 13, so I hope there's more explanation here. Then we pop to Zemo. Now in one of the promos, they showed somebody shooting a whole bunch of bullets, and then they showed bullets falling on the ground, and it really upset me because the bullets were casings and bullets falling on the ground instead of spent casings, and it kind of bothered me. I was like, oh, this is. Oftentimes they'll mess up because maybe the production team just doesn't know how bullets actually work, and I've seen slow motion shots where somebody shoots something and the bullet comes out with the casing and the projectile. and so it always bothers me. I'm like, you don't know how bullets work. That's horrible. And so whatever. I don't know how the projectile. You hit the primer and then it starts the powder going and it shoots the projectile out. That's how bullets work. Actually, the pressure pushes the casing a little bit against the chamber, and so whatever. Well, it doesn't somehow hit this thing that causes a rocket engine explosion that sends the casing and the bullet flying through. Okay, anyways, I digress. but that was in the commercial, in the teaser trailer, and I thought, ding dongs. Well, no, this was actually part of the plan. Bucky comes up with a 1911 I hate to say it, it must be a 2011 because a 1911 is from World War II. It's a gun definitely Bucky would be known to carry. But I got to slow it down to look at the actual gun. I guess it's a 2011, which is an updated 1911 that shoots 9 millimeters. You know, girls have to shoot too. And and so he opens his metal hand, and it is a bunch of 9 millimeters that he drops. But he pulls the trigger like he shot the guy. And I also really appreciate the fact that Zemo says, "Hey, I already crossed my name off your book." Zemo's a pretty slippery character. I mean, in that scene where he pops open the book and says, "Hey, look at this," he stole the book from this guy. Just like probably pickpocketed him. So then we go into the Dora Milaje taking him. Io kind of goes, "Hey, they were taking him to Raft." And that might be just a throwaway statement, you might think, but no. The Raft is a pretty big place in the MCU, but it's also a place that we were shown during Civil War. But more, when Iron Man goes to the Raft, when Tony Stark goes to the Raft, the person who's running the Raft is General Thaddeus Ross, who's Thunderbolt. And the first person who was the leader of the Thunderbolts is Zemo. So I think we are seeing the world of the Thunderbolts get started here. And so we pop into that, and then right before they split, Bucky asks Io for a favor. When Bucky shows up at the boat there, he says, "I'm just dropping this off and I'm going to leave." And then he helps him build the boat, and they have their montage of budding dumb, I guess. Also, every time he hit on Sam's sister, Sam gave him a funny look, like, So, but so that might be a thing. You never know. And so they rebuild the boat, decide to keep the boat. Then they have a training montage, a little bit of sound. Not the Eye of the Tiger. I wish it was. That'd have been cool. And I like it when he runs past his couple of nephews there and says, "I could do this all day," kind of deal, just like Captain America did. Then we have Joaquin come back and say, "Hey, we have whatever we've discovered. We pinged, and they're the Flag Smashers, and they're in New York." At the same time, Sam is watching television and can see that they're about to meet New York. And of course, we know that what they don't know, which is all those UN folks. The lights are turning down, and the fight. The fight is starting. So Sam opens up the box. You can kind of say what's in the box, or you can think of it actually it flashes through it really quick. But if you ever watched Pulp Fiction, when they open the box, it's all shiny and you don't know what's in there. Well, we know, okay? We know it's his new suit, and I kind of hope it has more power. So I'm surprised that Bucky's arm doesn't have other capabilities. For instance, Shuri built up Black Panther suit so that when you hit it, it would absorb the kinetic energy, and that kinetic energy could be stored up and redirected. I'm surprised his fist doesn't have that. I wouldn't be overly surprised that Falcon's new suit probably has something like that. I wouldn't be too surprised if it doesn't have other augmentations. If it's kind of based on his first suit, his new Red Wing's probably going to be very interesting. So we didn't know that Red Wing, until this show, we didn't know Red Wing had lasers and a Gatling gun and all kinds of rockets and stuff. So I assume that that's going to happen with this. They just might be of a different kind, a little bit stronger, a little bit different. Um, and I really look forward to the ending. So I I haven't liked this show as much as WandaVision. The reason is I was able to predict most of the show. With WandaVision, I could predict about half. With this, I'm hitting probably 90%. Some of the things that I've missed on are, I thought for sure that there would be a Sharon Carter, Bucky love triangle kind of thing going on with her, you know, with her grandpa, uncle, I don't know, great uncle, I don't know what you call him. And I kind of thought that, we would see more of the Thunderbolts popping up. So I kind of thought maybe Songbird, maybe someone else. And that didn't happen. But, all right, well, see you guys later. Thanks. Bye.